On the 16th of September 2022, Hoyoverse made the first announcement for the Genshin Impact anime. For most of the player base, including myself, this was a thing of dreams. Because let's be honest, a lot of us are dirty weebs. And to top it off, it was gonna be done with Ufotable, which is famously known for creating the Demon Slayer anime. Now you can criticize the story of Demon Slayer as much as you want, but I'm sure everyone with eyes can agree that the animations and fight scenes they created were absolutely incredible. Now everything was looking uphill for this project, except then it kinda just disappeared. We haven't had an official announcement of any kind from Hoyo about the anime, and it was starting to look reminiscent of the Genshin on the Switch announcement. I'm not gonna lie, the only time I ever tune into the Genshin live streams is just to cope that they'll drop a new teaser or any news about it. Now while there isn't any official news about the anime, after looking into Ufotable and some questionable sources from Twitter, we can see that stuff is happening behind the scenes, and I'm almost certain that project definitely hasn't been abandoned. Now the first thing I looked into was Ufotable's previous projects, to see if they usually take around this long for anime. Their most popular and recent project would be Demon Slayer, which was first announced in Weekly Shonen Jump on June 4th, 2018. The series then began airing on April 6, 2019, which is less than a year's wait. Now this isn't quite as long as the 18 months we've had since Genshin's first announcement. What about Fate, another big franchise done by Ufotable that is coincidentally also originally a game? Well, Fate Zero was approved for production in December 2010 and aired its first episode in October 2011, once again, less than a year's wait. I then remembered another anime that took quite a long time between the first teaser and any other news, and that was Chainsaw Man. Now Chainsaw Man is not by Ufotable, but the situation felt quite familiar. Chainsaw Man's first teaser was released in June 27th of 2021, and it was a similar style to Genshin's first teaser, just a showcase of some animation with no voice acting. The main trailer then released the following year in September, which makes the gap this time 14 months. A bit closer, but still shorter than Genshin. Now at this point I was a bit worried about the state of Genshin's anime, but the next two projects were super reassuring. In 2011, the creator of Fate, Type Moon, was looking to port Fate Stay Night to the PlayStation Vita. Animated cutscenes for this port were actually done by Ufotable, and during this process a deal was made between the two companies to create a full anime series of Fate Stay Night. And if you look at the date of the release date of the first in the series, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, October 12th, 2014, 3 years after the deal was made. Now obviously this isn't identical to the Genshin situation. Since the deal made in 2011, I'm unsure whether it was announced to the public, but it definitely shows that Ufotable take longer for some anime. Now the final project I was able to find is probably the most similar and also a lot more recent. Witch of the Holy Night is another visual novel created by Type Moon, and in December of 2021, Aniplex announced that this game would be getting an anime film adaptation by, you guessed it, Ufotable. Now just like the Genshin situation, Ufotable and Type Moon went pretty much complete radio silence about the project. I even found some Reddit posts that are very similar to the ones posted in Genshin, questioning whether the anime would ever release and if it was just abandoned. Then out of nowhere, on literally New Year's Day of 2024, a new teaser trailer of Witch of the Holy Night was released. This would put it at pretty much exactly 2 years after the original trailer. Now this one gave me a lot more hope for Genshin's anime, as it's almost an identical situation and we definitely haven't reached the 2-year mark yet. Now obviously this doesn't mean Hoyo is going to release a new trailer at the 2-year mark exactly, but coincidentally the first trailer was actually released on the 2nd anniversary of Genshin's release. Now obviously 2 years after this day will once again be on Genshin's anniversary, and if you want to inhale some copium with me, I would not be surprised if they were preparing a big announcement like a full trailer for an anniversary stream. Now another reason why Hoyo might be holding or delaying the project is the actual content of the anime. There has been no announcement on what the actual anime will be about, only the teaser trailer, which is literally just Aether and Lumine and some landscape. Some people have speculated that it would be about the Archon War, or maybe the destruction of Khaenri'ah, and act as a precursor to the events in the game. And this is completely reasonable, as it would be very difficult to retell the story that we actually play through in the game. But what if that's what Hoyo actually wants to do? Now if we do follow our current path, this year we'll be going to Natlan, 2025 will be Snezhnaya, and then 2026 will either be Celestia or Kanria. If I were to predict, around 2026 to 2027 would be when the game's story actually ends. Now, assuming Hoyo doesn't want the anime to catch up to the story in the game, this would mean a late 2025 release would actually be pretty reasonable. A first season to maybe take us to Sumeru or Inazuma, and then a second season 2 to 3 years later that would close out the story. This would give time for the game's story to finish and not have the anime take away from the game's experience. Now, a 2025 release, especially if it was the middle to end of the year, would definitely not see a trailer be released early this year and definitely not last year. So if this is what Hoyo is actually trying to do, then it's completely understandable why we haven't heard news yet. But obviously this was a whole lot of speculation. Now finally, while looking around, there was actually some stuff that I found going on behind the scenes with the Genshin anime. Firstly, in June of 2023, during the China Film and Television Night, they actually announced Genshin in the new film recommendation section. Now if this was clearly about the anime, this would be amazing, except I was unable to find anything solid stating whether this was actually about it or was just acknowledging the game of Genshin as general animation work. Now this Twitter user that I'll keep anonymous in case they're actually leaking important information, stated that 3 producers of the project are already known. Now obviously this could just be some random user, so of course this could be fake, but something else they also brought up was that on the official Ufotable website, there's a link for company inquiries about the Genshin anime. Now obviously if the anime was abandoned, this wouldn't exist at all. Also on this page at the bottom of the screen, we can see that the license of the Genshin anime was actually updated last year. Now this Twitter user claims that it was updated in August last year, and we can't really be sure about that, but it was definitely in 2023. So while there isn't anything official about the Genshin anime project, there is a lot of solid evidence that can prove that it still exists and definitely isn't a case of the Genshin on the Switch again. If I were to predict when we would actually get a major announcement for it, I would have to say the 4th anniversary stream, which would be September this year. Now if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe, and a huge thanks to everyone who watched and interacted with my Blade video from a few days ago, as that video blew up like crazy. I'm going to try my best to keep releasing similar content for those of you supporting me, and thanks for watching.